I actually think that's it. I forgot. I completely forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know.
Hey girl, welcome to Breathe with the Tea. Come on in.
This is for them 20 somethings. Time really moves fast, you were just 16. This is for them 30 something that didn't turn out exactly how your mom and dad wanted you to be. This is for them 40 something. Well, raise up your glass and laugh.
Hi guys, welcome to Breathe with the Tea, and thank you for joining my channel. I just want to take this time to say, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, do so now. We are so happy to have you, and I want you to come back. So today's topic is actually going to be on the gastric sleeve, which is also known as the sleeve gastrectomy. This is a procedure that I'm actually going to be receiving next week, and I have not really went into, I guess, a detailed description as to what that all entails. I think it's important to kind of talk about this just because I've told a lot of people, and a lot of people are just so against it that you don't really get a lot of informative information about it, because people just kind of like chop you off right at the beginning. And you know, there are people out there who have had it, but the majority are people who are just not for this surgery, and I'll actually kind of talk about that in another video. But I want to start with what the sleeve gastrectomy, also the gastric sleeve, the VSG, what that is. And I have a definition here that I'm going to read, and it basically states that the sleeve gastrectomy is a restrictive weight loss surgery that does not change the normal digestive process in the way that the gastric bypass does. The sleeve gastrectomy controls your hunger by greatly shrinking the size of your stomach. With this procedure, approximately 80% of your stomach is removed, and a small vertical pouch in the shape of a banana remains. Over time, the sleeve expands to hold 1 cup of food or liquid. You eat less because you feel full after eating small amounts of food. Now, that's just a generic explanation that I got online, but that's pretty much what it is. Why I chose the gastric sleeve is going to be for several reasons, actually. And I will start with the reason why I chose the gastric sleeve versus other weight loss surgeries. As it stated before, the gastric bypass is one that reroutes your digestive system, basically detaching one of your intestines from your stomach, removing the majority of your stomach, leaving you more like an egg shape, and then reattaching your intestine to your new stomach. So I didn't really like that idea, just because I want to kind of keep everything as normal as possible, if you know what I mean. Like, I felt like it would just be much better to make like one chop, sew it up, staple it up, or whatever they do, and just be done. You know what I mean? I feel like that would just give you less problems with, the weight loss surgery to begin with. And then also the bypass, because they give you such a small stomach, it leaves you with so much saggy skin. But as a result of the saggy skin is a result of losing the weight so fast. So I kind of wanted something that was going to gradually happen over time, instead of just, you losing all the weight and then all of a sudden you left with all the saggy skin. So those are really the reasons why I chose the vertical sleeve over the bypass. Now, there's also another surgery called the lap band, and the lap band is a small little ring that is silicone, and what they do is, I guess it's plastic maybe, and then they fill it with silicone, and it just kind of sits around your stomach, which tightens it and loosens it, so you have, the ability to readjust according to your lifestyle changes. I know a lot of people who have had that when they have babies, they tend to, widen it a little bit just so that they can have more room to eat. Now for me, there again, I didn't like the fact that it was kind of like a foreign object that would just be in my body that was not necessarily meant to be. So I just couldn't wrap my head around that idea. So for me, and then again, I feel like the people who have had it, they don't see the long-term results as much with the lap band because you have so much control over, you know, when and where and how you know, adjust it. And then on top of that, I didn't want to have to make visits because they're with that particular surgery, you have to make visits in order to either take some of the silicone out or put some in. And to me, that was just a hassle. Like, I just kind of wanted to one and done and keep on going. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you'll go to your normal doctor's appointments and things like that, but I just didn't really, I just was like, nah, you know, for something that I think has taken me so long to get to, I just don't even want to have to think of going to more and more and more and more doctor's appointments. So that's really the reason why I chose the gastric sleeve. Now, the personal reasons why I chose this particular procedure is because, well, let me give you sort of kind of like a backstory. When I was younger, my mother suffered from several strokes. And at the time, you know, I was maybe like 7 or 8. I didn't really understand, you know, why she was having these strokes. And as I got older, I kind of started to understand that, you know, she developed diabetes, she had, you know, high blood pressure, and, you know, as a result of those things, she had dementia. So it was kind of hard to have such a physical relationship with my mother just because these things were kind of things that were holding us back, you know. And then for me, she was an older mother versus, you know, a younger mom. Because she had me so late that between her age and, you know, these conditions, it just really kind of took a toll on our relationship. So she ended up passing away, and I want to say like 6 months later, I started having these really bad migraines. And when I tell you, at the time, I was just going through so much stress. I went to the doctor and I told her, I was like, you know what? I really feel like I'm stressed. Like, it's a lot going on. I think that's the reason why I'm having these migraines. And she was like, well, you know, that may possibly be the reason, but she wanted to kind of do a series of tests. So when she did that, I'm thinking like, you know, she's gonna call me back, or I'm just gonna see her again at the next appointment, and she's gonna say, you're fine, you know, nothing is wrong with you, it's all in your head. But actually, I want to say I went one day, and like 2 or 3 days later, she calls me and she was like, you know, I really want you to come back in. I believe you to have a condition called PCOS, which is also known as PCOS. It's polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it's something that kind of takes over your reproductive system. It's a hormone imbalance, and as a result of these things, you have high blood pressure, you have a lot of people are insulin resistant, so their A1C is either high or low, and then there's just so many different symptoms actually that go along with PCOS. So I at the time wasn't very knowledgeable of that, but there again, like I said, 6 months later, after my mom passing away, it just kind of all hit me. Like it was then real, you know, that these things are hereditary. And I wanted to take a step in the right direction because I had already been, you know, down that road with my own mom. And I have 3 children myself. And then I have a husband, you know. So I thought to myself, this is something that I'm not making a decision for everyone else. You know what I mean? I was making this decision for me, and I was making this decision for my family because I knew how detrimental, you know, I was to my family. So I want to just encourage people to say, you know, when you're going through this process and you're trying to figure out if that's really what you want to do, you need to know what your why is. You know what I mean? Because throughout this process, it's not easy, and you're going to have so many naysayers. It's crazy. And it's just important to keep that why at the beginning of your head. Like every time you're down, because you're going to want to give up, because this this process is not for the weak. And yeah, so I just want to encourage everybody to find your why and keep that near and dear, and you're going to be all right. So that's pretty much it about the gastric sleeve and why I'm going to get it. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything else you would want me to talk about, be sure to just let me know. Comment in the comment below. But yes, I just want to thank you guys for watching. I hope that this video was very informative to you, and if there are any other questions, any other concerns, please be sure to leave those comments below, and I promise I will get those things back to you. I love you, and I'll see you again soon.
Oh no.